Hi, it's the middle of April, so it's time for mid-month wrap-up. I've already read 8 books, so let's see what I do in the second half of April. And I've had a lovely time so far. I started off with a NetGalley book by Vanessa Savage, The Night They Vanished, and that comes out middle of May. And it's about... what's it about? It's about a girl who leaves home and finds a site, a dark tourism site that is about her house. The reveals in this just did not disappoint. I really enjoyed that one. The next one I read was Night Sky with Exit Wounds, and it was the poetry collection by Vuong. And I found the poetry lyrical and tender. He talks about his father, who is absent in his life, but it's his imaginings of the things that could have happened to his father, the reasons why he's not in his life. And you've got poems about Vietnam, about the evacuation of Vietnam. You've got poems about his sexuality and his sexual encounters, and you've got drawings of Greek mythology in here as well. I enjoyed these poems, some more than others. So that was Night Sky with Exit Wounds. The next one I read was another NetGalley one. It comes out in May, and it's the Howls from the Dark Ages, and it's an anthology of short stories, medieval dark horror fantasy, and there is 18 stories in there. You've got a narrator who links the stories almost as though each story is a museum, an artifact from a museum, and he's sort of taking you around the museum and he comes across these artifacts, and each artifact has a story connected to it. And again, as with poetry, some you like, some you don't. Again, there were some really good stories in there that I really did enjoy. My favourite one was The Forgotten Valley, which was all to do with desire and legends. The next one was the final one on the Carnegie Medal shortlist. That was the final book of the 8, so I've completed the medal shortlist now. And I've got a video... I'm not sure whereabouts I've got with editing, but I have done a video where I predict the winner. It's somewhere on my site. If I've edited it and put it on, we'll have to see. It's Tsunami Girl by Julian Sedgwick, and this is part manga and part prose, and it's about a girl who survives an earthquake and tsunami in Japan, and it's her coming to terms, it's the closure that she seeks for the events that happened to her. And the manga adds a sort of otherworldly element to it, because it touches on Japanese folklore and rituals as well. And I really enjoyed that one. That was one of my favourites on that whole short list. Because I've been waiting for my library to deliver me the Women's Prize long lists. I seem to be on waiting lists for all of the books on there, so I'm just having to wait my turn. I've decided to read some of the backlist of the Goldsmiths Prize winners, and the first one was Beatlebone by Kevin Barry, and that was the winner in 2015, and it's a fictional account of John Lennon wanting to go to his Irish island during a dry period to try and regain his creativity. He wants to spend 3 days on the island, just totally alone, doing a bit of primal scream therapy and finding his mojo again. And you've got his driver that he finds on the island, Cornelius, and these two sort of travel around to get to this island, and we have meetings with people who are involved with the occult. At one point he's in a cave on his own. One chapter is almost like the author telling us about how he researched everything, and his journey being almost a mirror image of his fictional John's journey. It was very surreal, this one. It was an enjoyable read, but totally surreal. The next one, again, was off the Goldsmiths Prize backlist, and this was Alice Smith's How to Be Both, and that one in 2014. And this is about a Renaissance artist in the 1460s and a young girl in present day. You've got two timelines, you've got sort of gender crossing, you've got almost two stories that are almost mirror images, but you've got a distortion, so they don't quite mirror each other, and you've got a sort of intermingling as well. So that was a good read. And the last one that I've read, two more. A NetGalley one, Weight of Loss by Sally Oliver, which comes out beginning of June. And this is a very dark tale of grief and loss and depression about a woman who can't come to terms with the loss of her sister. And she goes to this weird rehabilitation centre in Wales where the therapies are just gory and grotesque. And they make you shudder. They make you shudder. And the final one was this one that I did finally get from the library, Salt Lick by Lulu, Allison, and it's off the Women's Prize long list, and this was my 5-star, and it was brilliant. It's about a Britain not too far away from now, when food production's moved overseas, people are forced to move to the cities, and the countryside is empty. And you've got a little group of cows, feral cows, who are the Greek chorus throughout, and two wonderful characters in Jessie and Isolde, and you follow their stories. Jessie lives in the countryside, and Isolde's London, and absolutely wonderful. I sped through this, such a good read, and this is my book of the first half of April. Salt Lick, my only 5-star so far this month. So that is my mid-month April wrap up. I will see you again soon. So happy reading. Take care.